You join me today on an industrial estate on the outskirts of Shanghai, and we're here to see an exclusive preview of something very special. Now, this is a car with a lot of expectations around it, and it's the first sedan from a brand which has only made SUVs. This is the NIO ET7, and this is fully charged.
Don't forget to subscribe and enter to be in the chance to win in our great EV giveaway, where you could win one of 4 electric cars.
Now, this is a car which won't be released until about a year from now, but this is going to be covered in the press a lot over the next year, comparing it to this car, comparing it to that car, because this is such a significant car for NIO. Now, this is significant for a number of reasons. The first being 150 kilowatt hour battery, which does 1,000 kilometers of any DC range, but that's still a lot of range. This also comes with LiDAR, which we'll talk about a bit later. It's their first sedan, so it's rivaling lots of other cars. And I really think this car looks spectacular. So some very quick facts about the ET7, which I can tell you now. Now, this is kind of the pre-production car, so not everything is finalized, but there are a few things I can tell you. So first of all, as you can see, it's a very smooth and sleek body. But on the roof, you can see the sensors around the car dotted all over the place. And these kind of horns and humps on the top form part of that system. Now, interestingly, they've been testing this in a wind tunnel, which gives it a drag coefficient of about 0.23, which is exceptionally low for any car. And one of the other things I want to tell you about is the size. Now, I've complained in the past that NIOs are quite big. This kind of doesn't really change that. This is about 5 meters long and almost 2 meters wide. So it's still quite a big car. But most interestingly, this can do the battery swap with the other NIO cars. So the same batteries can go in the bottom, it can go into the battery swapping stations. So it fits very neatly into the product range with NIO. So I'm in the back of the ET7 now, and the biggest feeling in here is of the space. I'm surrounded by glass. I've got glass all around here, 2 panels of glass here, glass all around the back, with this white interior as well. That really helps with the luxury and the big space feeling. Now, a couple of interesting features in here. I've got my notes here because there's a lot to remember. So in the back here, you've got this renewable material, the rattan, and this is everywhere. It surrounds the whole car. Now we're here at the back of the ET7, and there's a few more details that I want to tell you. The first of all is about the LiDAR system. Now, I've got my notes here because there's a lot to remember. So it's called Aquila. There's 33 sensors across the car, including LiDAR, 11 cameras, 5mm wave radars, and 12 ultrasonic sensors. This is a truly connected car. It's obviously got 5G and all of that, but this generates, wait for it, 8 gigabytes of data per second when it's scanning the road. Incredible. Now, some of the other materials in here are very nice. They've got the microfiber cloth ceiling, which is lovely to touch. One of the most interesting things is, you'll probably notice there's a lack of door handles in here. So what NIO have done with this car is got rid of the door handles. It's seen as unnecessary bulk and complication, and replace it with a button instead. So the door just automatically opens. We can't test that today, but that's the idea there, and hopefully it will make it to the final production version as well. Now, unfortunately, I can't sit in the front, but I can look at the front. 2 screens, one is a 12.8-inch screen, the main one, and one is a 12.2-inch screen, all with 5G connectivity, and it's really kind of understated and calm and neutral in here.
Yeah, so starting in the front, you know, the X-Bar was a big part. The double dash lighting element and the X-Bar were 2 features and the diamond cut plan view of the car. 3 things that are in all of our front ends. And so this quest for purity and reduction and this relentless pursuit to make things more easy to understand, we convey that in the following way. So we exhibit and pronounce that diamond cut plan view, celebrating the double dash even more by kind of pulling this light away and really showing the top of the core meter lens with a lot more dimension and depth. where before maybe it was a little too deep. And then in the shark nose and the X-bar, really trying to distill this down to its sort of most simplest and basic elements. So the X-bar element is there still, but it's in its purest state. And so this was a great exercise in sort of reduction and evaluation of the elements and how many elements we need to have. So I think, that Chris and we would go through countless reviews to kind of evaluate, is this pure enough? Is this make sense? Is it logical? When the brake light comes on, as we've sort of celebrated the double dash that you see in the front, in the back. So we've created this even more pure and simple and very strongly stated lamp signature in the rear. It's very wide versus something that maybe takes the eye up and down.
Yeah. Very simple and elegant, I think.
Yes.
Solution.
The sensitivity of some of these forward-facing edges here may produce different effects of downforce and drag here. It's sometimes you have to walk back, and it's this iterative process with anything. It takes time to sort of find the proper composition.
And you're talking about millimeters, like shaving millimeters.
I think that's it. So we're talking about millimeters in clay, and then the engineering and the cast modeling teams work to a 1/6 of a decimal point.
Wow.
Which is even more specific. So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a very easy design on the eye, I think, and compared to some of the other models we see out there, which are quite complicated and sharp angles and a bit fussy, this really distills it down to the design language, I suppose, of NIO.
It's a quest. So each product we do, needs to fulfill these elements of pure, human, progressive, and sophisticated. For this product, we really wanted to emphasize the purity, and so kind of turn that dial up a little bit more and kind of explore how pure and how strong of a statement this vehicle can be from a volume perspective.
We're about to hear a lot of noise about this car in the coming year as it's released next year, early 2022. And I think rightfully so. This is a super luxury saloon, the likes of which we haven't really seen before. And I think it really strikes a stab into the heart of the legacy automakers. They should be very, very worried. Now, I hope you enjoyed us showing around this car today. We've got plenty more episodes from China coming up very soon. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, subscribe, lots of all those Patreon links, YouTube memberships. And if you have been, thank you for watching.